So I went to go and film this video last night, and this is all I really got out of it. Do I look like an absolute insane person with this hair? A little. It's okay though. We're vibing. We're vibing in my pug shirt, my pug food shirt. It's like 10 p.m. So we're taking it again. I am a person who owns a lot of books. Too many books, probably. I have a bookcase out in the living room, which is overstuffed. I have more books inside of my closet in a box. I have that other box of books inside of my car that needs to go back to my parents. I have books in my drawers next to my bed. There are more books in that thing behind me. I'm a nightmare. But this also means that I have read at least some of them, and I haven't been able to share all of them. So last night, I was in the shower and I had this idea for a series of like short, snacky videos where I go through my bookcase and find some stuff to talk about. Immediately after I had this idea, I had an earwig run over my foot, which sucked. So I got out of the shower and tried to film, as we saw in the before clip. Didn't go great. But we're back at it again in this Krispy Kreme. Let's talk about our first book. So the first book, going for that car pass. I could close the window. Would that ruin the continuity? I'm closing the window. So for our first book in Bookcase Corner, I would like to introduce The Books of Elsewhere by Jacqueline West. These are not short books, but they're not like incredibly long. They are a pretty quick read, and they're just lovely. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of these books, I would just really like to talk about the cover art. So, like, look at that. Obviously, this, like, kind of foil stuff doesn't exist in every version of the books because this is the hardcover, because I was, like, a weird book snob when I was in middle school. I needed to get the hardcover every time. I have the first 3 books, which is The Shadows, I think this is called Spellbound, and then The Second Spy. I think there are 5 books at this point. I do not own all of them. I have not read all of them. They all kind of came out one after the other, and I bought them as they came out when I was in middle school and early high school. I sort of teetered off the reading bandwagon in late high school, which I think happens to a lot of people, which is why we're doing this series, to get people back into reading, because I think it's totally okay to be an adult person reading YA fiction and middle grade fiction, because honestly, this kicks butt. I never noticed on the back. Look at him, it's all up in there. He's an actual character in the book. I forgot his name. I think it's Morton, which is a dumb name. Sorry, Morton. See, I closed the window to get noise level, but it's so hot. I am from upstate New York, and anything above 60 degrees is too warm, and it's 90 today. So the book starts out with this beautiful illustration. The book is illustrated. Not every page, but like, they're really pretty when they do come up. Book starts out with a section about the previous owner of this house, Mrs. McMartin, and the fact that she has recently died, and they found out about it because her cats were found screaming and possibly eating her face. You hooked yet? Immediately after her death, the main character, Olive, who is like a timid girl, kind of tomboy-y, kind of head in the clouds, Olive and her family move into this house, which was previously owned by this woman and her 3 cats. The authorities never found the cats, they all scattered, and Olive's parents kind of ignore her In classic YA book fashion, they believe her to be kind of dull-witted. They are mathematicians, and she is just sort of a lackadaisical, bookish girl who likes to look for mysterious things and cares about ghosts and stuff. They think she's a little weird. What she finds in this house is that there are paintings all over every wall, and they are attached to the walls as if they are a part of the house. As she lives in it more, she notices the paintings moving. Characters and trees and monsters. The cats start appearing, and they talk. They warn her not to go anywhere near the paintings. Now she is curious, perhaps too curious, and finds a set of spectacles that she's wearing here that allow her to traverse the paintings. I love Luigi's Mansion. This is Luigi's Mansion, but not at all. As she starts going through these paintings, she makes friends within them, discovers some dark facts about the house and its previous owners, and the cats that live therein. The villains are so well written. It's got themes of like trusting yourself and feelings of belonging. She feels more at home inside of these paintings than she does in real life. She doesn't feel like she fits in with her family or at her new school or even in the world in general. She doesn't really have any friends. Realizing that she does have a place in this world is really important and was formative for me growing up. I also love, this is the third book, I also love the cats. This is Leopold. There's another one. That's Harvey. There's an orange one, but I don't remember his name, even though he was the main one. He was just kind of mean. Again with the illustrations. I love that. There's Olive and Morton. They're inside a painting in this one. There is a section at the end of this book, it's like page 221, I'm looking at it right now, which has stuck with me, trapped in my brain, living rent-free since I read it in 2010, and it will not go away. I love ghost stories. There is a specific weird little genre of like YA/middle grade books where it's like spooky coded. It's kind of horror, but not quite there. Use of ghosts and monsters and traditional horror concepts, but within sort of like an adventure novel. I love those. I love this. I love everything in this series, and I love textured pages. It's just a little thing, but I'm a tactile reader, I think, and it hits different. Here she is hanging out in a bathtub with some cats. The art style is so good. Without giving too much away about the books, I can definitely recommend the books of Elsewhere. If you're looking for a slightly spooky, cool little read that will make you look at paintings a little differently. If you're in a bookstore anytime soon, give it a look. Maybe I'll go look for the 4th and 5th books. I'd really like to see how it ends. That'll wrap up my Bookcase Corner for today. Just remember to stay happy, stay healthy, and no matter what happens, you're gonna be okay. Whoa! Bus! This is what I get for living on a busy street corner. It's okay though, won't be a problem for long.